How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the 1894. I'm there. I've got Luke and me here today for a Burnley preview. Let's get right into it. Right, so like we said, we're going into Burnley. It's fresh off an international break. We're coming in high enough spirits. You know, we got out a week of death to us fairly unscathed. I say unscathed, we lost Paris. No one really cares about Paris. Coming in 4 points out of the 6 in the last 2 Premier League games. Chuffed, really happy. So, looking into Burnley here. Low block, it's going to be tough to break down. We're going to have probably going to start a striker actually in the low block, but we'll get into that later. Luke, what's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those games where everyone's going to probably expect a 5-0 like every year, but I have a feeling this will probably be the year Burnley really sort of grind out. I think we'll beat Burnley. I think we always do anyway. I know we won 5-0 last 2 years, but I think it's probably been more of a close game than previous years, especially with one of the players being Maxwell Cornet, who we all know from playing against Lyon the last few years in Champions League. So I'm sure. I think we'll definitely have enough to score these 2 or 3 past them. I think, and just more of a get a job done kind of performance. Just get the win, get the 3 points, and move on. I wouldn't really care if it was that kind of win. Just win, really. We need it right now.
Yeah, no, you're dead right. Look, it's a start to a tough month. I know we had a tough month last month, but this month there are good mid-table teams we're going to have to get past. We're going to have to keep switching teams, keep rotating. It's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough month, and this is start. But like you said, this should be the game where you look at and say we should dispatch of them fairly easily. Depending on who we play. But even if Sterling starts, even if we go with false 9, which we won't, but even if we go with false 9, we should still have the capabilities of putting 4 or 5 past. I know you said 2 or 3, but we still have the firepower to go and put 4 or 5 past them. Last season in the home game, we won 5-0, like you said. Mahrez turned up, got a hat trick. I'd like to say he got a perfect hat trick, but he got a hat trick anyway, and he was outstanding. That was his first game of the season where I turned around and said, "This is great." And this I think this game really suits him. I know we probably won't have him in the starting lineup, but it will suit him if you were to come on, especially against tired legs. If you were to run at the defence, he's a good player to have on them. I know they'll double up on him. That'll only leave more space in the box for strikers to run into. You know, having those ball retention players out wide can really help in games like this. But before we get into the we'll keep going with this before we get into the team preview, because we're talking about this so much. Give them. I know everyone knows how Burnley play, but we'll give them a chat and how you think we can break them down.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't say an expert on Burnley, but I do obviously watch match that most people do, or any kind of highlights when possible. They've been great this year. Been probably one of the 3 worst teams. Well, is it 19th right now?
I think so.
Yeah, so they haven't been great this season. I mean, obviously there's like Newcastle and Southampton around them, but I think you can probably look context for Southampton, maybe other teams considering the fixtures they've had as well. But Burnley are probably the one team I think that we should definitely beat them in the form that they're in right now. I mean, I think they drew with Norwich, didn't they, to get their first point, I think, this season. I think the last game before the break.
Yeah,
so,
that was a 0-0.
Typical bottom clash that was, typical. So I think, look, they're obviously going to park the bus. I don't blame them really for doing that, because they need to get a point where they can. But this is where we're probably going to be really patient here. Like, don't rush, don't just patient play. Eventually, the open will come. I think. Look, also, is it Pope and goal as well for them? He's a brilliant keeper. I think I can see him getting a big move at some point in the future if he doesn't stay at Burnley. Yeah. So I think it's all about just breaking them down, make sure the midfield is packed, like De Bruyne, Bernardo. Just make sure that people working the ball around, and if De Bruyne gets especially put De Bruyne further forward, like in the second half in Liverpool. It's where he suits best. Get Torres and maybe Greeley, whoever plays on the wings, get them ready for maybe a top through ball or a through pass, because De Bruyne is one of them players who can find any kind of space in the box. We need that in this kind of game.
Yeah, look, you're dead right. There's going to be so many players that can make a difference in this game. And look, we've said enough about it now. We'll get right into the team prediction now. Right, so we're running to the team prediction now. So just start off straight away. We already know. We actually don't know, because Ederson is down on this for the minute. But with his whole going over to Brazil and coming back wherever he is playing, it could end up being a kick in the balls. I say kick in the balls, definitely be fine, but it's one of those games where it could just turn out that Ederson can't play, or Ederson, it could be jet lag, just not good enough to play. But look, either way, I have full faith in Stefan. That isn't what I'm concerned about at the minute. But back four, we have Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, average really. You can't really switch up the full backs when Zinchenko's out and we don't have another left back. It's standard, like we said, but before we go into the midfield, what minimal input do you have in it?
Yeah, I mean, well, Stefan, I trust fully. Anyway, I mean, he's improved massively, being Ederson's number two. He's done really well. So I feel like this is, if he's called upon, and if Ederson needs a rest in any kind of game, it probably would be Burnley.
Yeah.
Really, really, really honest there, because, all Norwich, but it doesn't matter. One of the bottom teams. This is why you want Ederson maybe to not play, and then bring him back for whoever we're playing next after that. I can't remember the fixture off the top of my head, but I know we're playing mid-table teams at the moment. So it's probably good that we're getting everyone who need a rested now, especially as we're getting towards the winter months where it gets even more stressful, and we're going to need a lot of rotation. So if it is Stefan in goal, I'll happily take that. He's brilliant. He does some good saves and does a good job every time he plays for us. So I can't argue with that. And the back four, yeah, I can see it being the same with Liverpool, really.
Yeah, it's just standard, isn't it, at this point? Especially when you have, I say, such little to choose from. We're fresh off watching the England. Well, they are fresh off watching the England match. I think Stones got casted up. Zinchenko, he's only back light training or gym training. There's not much you can really change about. But now we get into a place where we have a lot of replacements. But gone with probably the same. If we could say the same midfield for Liverpool, I know De Bruyne moved a bit further up, but we have the same midfield as Liverpool. We have Rodri, we have De Bruyne, and we have Bernardo Silva. I think all three stalwarts of them, and you can't move them. You can't move them out of that team yet. You have to try to get De Bruyne into a bit of a run of form. You have to have a bit of energy in the midfield beside him. So you have to have Bernardo there, and then Rodri's just undroppable to me. He's been outstanding. I know I've given him some stick, but he's been outstanding. But Luke, before we go into the controversial front line, what do you make?
Yeah, I mean, Rodri probably been, maybe apart from maybe two players, probably our player of the season so far. Incredible. He's done so well. I'm so happy for him as well, because as I said in the previous video, he's finally getting his confidence going, and that's what we need him to see. A confident Rodri is one of the best DMs in the world at times. He's incredible. So, and Bernardo, we all know how good Bernardo is. I think against Luxembourg, he got, was it 3 assists, 2 or 3 assists against Luxembourg? No, it's Luxembourg, but he got some assists for Portugal, so he's on fire. And Belgium didn't exactly do well in the Nations League, but De Bruyne was incredible for Belgium, and and that's the one thing that will be positive for us. No, he's got some form from the international, and we know that will definitely help him going back into the city. So, but I will keep saying as well, play him further forward. If you need to tell him to sort of go forward with the attackers, because as I said, every time as well against Liverpool, we obviously watched together. When he's playing further forward, he looks like himself. Mm-hmm. So I just hope that we do that, because against Burnley, he will punish any that back line will have no chance against him. He's that kind of player that we definitely need in that situation. But yeah, the midfield three, perfect. Yeah, they're perfect, mate. Perfect.
Yeah, no, you're dead right. De Bruyne was brilliant during the international break. I think he got an assist every 40 minutes, every 30 minutes, something crazy like that. But that's what you need. And like you said, playing before for the forward, 5-5 or 4, go with your 4-4-2, let him drop in, play like that. Like we ended up playing against Liverpool, play a 4-4-2, because we always end up playing a 4-4-2. Now it sounds 4-2, we play 4-4-2 when in possession with the ball and defending, we end up doing it. But he is good. He's better playing for the forward. I can't agree with you more. But now, talking about for the forward, we have Foden, we have Sterling, we have Torres. And I know we just went on a big spiel there about how you can have your ball retentive midfielders basically playing out the wing. But I think that's more so something for when there's tired legs on the pitch and you don't need as much directness. You can slow it down. You can put one in the back post when they're lacking. So we've gone with that. We have a bit of pace. I said we have a bit of pace. All three of those players have bullets. You have Sterling needs to get a bit of form into him. So hopefully you play on the right. If he's playing anywhere in that team, I want him on the right. Foden can't drop him. I think he's coming off his injury, but he's playing big minutes now. So he's going to play. He's played the full Liverpool. He'll play hopefully against Burnley. And Torres, again, outstanding in the Nations League. I don't understand how he's been dropped for so long. I say dropped, how he's just not been getting full minutes for ages now. He has to come back in. So I'm pretty sure he made his big stance in that Burnley Carabao Cup game there last year. I think got a goal and 2 assists, or a goal and an assist. It's absolutely unbelievable. And that's what they're the kind of players we have to have now. Players who are good, who maybe need a few minutes, need a run of form to go out and try score. And look, if it doesn't happen, we have players on the bench. But fire up, Luke. What's your thoughts on that team? The full front three now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, you can put Mahrez on the right, Grealish on the left. Either way, it's a good attack. But I will say as well, anything, start Torres.
Yeah,
He should be starting this game. I think he should be
definitely.
starting the next 4 games. I think he needs to give a run on games. Honestly, I know. Look, Liverpool. I understood why he didn't maybe start, but I would have at least brought him on to
Yeah.
test Van Dijk and Matip because he probably would have given him a lot of issues. But if you're gonna give him a run of games to see how he copes, this is where it starts. At Burnley, I think he'll score at least 2 or 3. And I
Wow.
know that's a bit obviously biased and a bit big, but watching him against Italy, he was incredible.
Hmm.
He was incredible, and he looks like he's really coming into his own as a striker sort of
Yeah.
player. You know,
Yeah.
a bit like obviously not as good as Aguero. You know, in that kind of mould, that kind of centre forward that can sort of cause an issue with centre backs can sort of run at them. That's what we need. And I'm not saying he's our key to solving our striker problem. Like that's obviously something that Haaland will probably do if we get him in next summer. But
Hmm.
Torres right now is the perfect replacement, perfect right now he's our best chance of actually getting a proper striker in this team. So if we're going to really give him a run of game, it's now. And as for Sterling, I hope this is a chance for him to get a run of games in because if he doesn't actually get any form, I think he'll end up leaving it next summer. But
Yeah.
yeah, apart from that, I'd go front three.
Yeah. Now every chance he could leave next summer, but I agree with you. We need to get some. We need to get runs of minutes in. We need to get people in good run of form, especially coming into another slug of a month, like we said. There's no let up now in the next 30 days. But before I wrap it up, Luke, score prediction.
Not 5-0. I'd love it to be,
4-0.
but I mean, it might be. It might be. But I'm gonna go. Do you know what? I'll go 4-0. Instead of 5, I'll go 4. I think we'll get one less this year, but either way, it's still a win. I think goal scorer. I think Torres will probably get 2, maybe a goal. I think De Bruyne will probably get a goal. I think Sterling will score. I think he'll get his goal. I think it'll be one of those games where he'll finally get his chance to sort of flourish and he'll get the form and get the start he needs. So hopefully, any kind of win will do for really. But as long as we get a couple of goals, that's the most important thing.
I'm going 6. I'm just going for 6-0, right? It's kind of complete. We're gonna look like idiots against 0-0, right?
I love
But
that. It was 6-7-0. Love that. Yeah.
if it goes 0-0, laugh at me. I don't care. But 6-0. I don't
We'll
know
win.
who's. We'll get any kind of win. I don't care if it's 1-0 or 10-0. Any kind of win is like we'll need these points. Like we're gonna need these points. These are the points we should be winning. The points we have to win if we want to win the league. And look, we're gonna find out. We'll find out come Saturday. We're on the road now. I'm gonna wrap it up. We're on the road now to 500 subscribers. I think we're 409 at the minute. Yeah, we're 409. So whatever you can do, just share it around. Like comment. Let us know what you do for this team wise. Team wise, that's not your result because look, comments do well. Comments make the video perform better, and we'll love you all more for us. So look, we'll see you then for the watch along. Maybe. Go on. See you. Have a good one.